Show us your tips, Daggy Beaver, with you for Stradbroke Day weekend preview time. Hey, travelling Beaver, beautiful weather out here at the moment.
Unbelievable weather here, mate. It's, nice and sunny. Bit cooler inside, unfortunately, but weather looks good and ready for another weekend of racing with a big Brisbane Cup Straddy day at Eagle Farm, which is exciting and looking forward to that racing. Pretty keen I can do well tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a good betting day. It was character building last week. I think I had about 7 or 8 seconds across the day, so it was some tough going there. Close, but no cigar on a couple. But I'm with you. I think this is a good chance to fill up tomorrow, dare I say.
That's the plan, mate. That is the plan.
Let's kick off at Eagle Farm then, where the rail goes out 4 metres. We should have a good track, beautiful weather. With the rail out there, you generally want to be about in that, well, pretty much where everyone was last week, about somewhere between 7 or 8 metres off the rail out to about 10 or 12. So you're looking for the similar runs, sort of running line setups. But we kick off with the mile Gunsynd Classic for the 3-year-olds at Group 3 level. What are we doing?
Yeah, look, this looks probably one of the tougher races on the day, I think. Tricky way to start the day with plenty of chances. Few here that have sort of been racing in good company, hard to get a line on some of their form and some of their most recent runs. I'm going to stick with Just Feeling Lucky. I think it's going good at the moment. This time in's been there and thereabouts, and has the form on the board. This might be a little bit different class, but we will see. I think it's going well enough. Comes from up from a win at Canterbury, likes to jump on the pace, so it might be hard to catch there in the first. I thought Flying Embers is going well at the moment and presents as a nice price, and I think Emirate will improve on its first up effort.
I'm going to go with Just Party. I think Nash doesn't waste gate 1. I think it was a complete buy last time out at Doomben. It goes further forward here, and I think it might be the best horse, albeit very well exposed. So going to go with it from Pisces, who backs up and towed Michael Rod through the line last week. I thought that was a decent run, but again, it is Pisces. I'm at the top of the market. I am a bit scared of the Freeman horse. He's obviously a hot trainer, but I'm just going with the more exposed top class ones in this. Second is a mile wait for age race here, and Transatlantic's come out. Interestingly enough, what are you doing now?
Oh, look, I thought it was a race in 2. I was going to tip Demon Darb with Transatlantic in it purely because I thought Transatlantic was a little bit short around the 5 to 4 mark when markets opened. I think Demon Darb now, this looks cherry ripe and set up for it. That was a pretty good win last start. I was impressed with that and had been pretty good prior to that. I think the 360 is a good price, and I think it's a very nice bet.
I'm a bit annoyed Transatlantic's come out because I was going to bet all around it. So, and make a case for a few at prices. With the new prices, unfortunately, I had an interest in Pier, but it's come up quite short now. It was stuck to the inside last time out and actually beat Transatlantic home in that race. Is a while between runs, but I think the better track will suit. I think Waterford going quite well as well. Sneaky good run first up. Great barrier trial inside gate there. And a couple others I'll mention. Tenzing's a winner and Match Kalate. My notes are all based around taking on Transatlantic, but for the record, Pier and Waterford will be my best results here. The Brisbane Cup, Group 2 at 3,200 metres. The big old staying race, and I'm going to go with the obvious, the leader here, Campbell-Dino. I thought that was a very good win last start. Sat outside lead and pretty much towed everyone in this race. Gets complete control now. I don't think there's any other pace here. It can go at its own as quickly as it wants to. It'll trot around and I think it'll win. I think Dillion's a crazy price. If you actually watch that replay, it never, ever fired a shot in that last start, and now comes to what I assume is its grand final. Has to be a live chance at $10. I'm pretty shocked it's so long, to be honest. They're the two hopes for me. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm sticking with you as well here. The favourite here, Campbell-Dino's got flying at the moment. If it runs the 3,200, it should take care of these. A lot of these are plotters or untested over this distance. And it just looks to be the best horse in the race. Got the right jockey for a leader here, and should be rock hard fit, being from the Waterhouse Bot stable. So clear on top for me as well.
Got the 2-year-olds up next in the, is it 2-year-olds? 3-year-olds here. In the Oxlade Stakes over 1,200 metres. There are two. And we see the return of Quietly Arrogant, who has come up favourite. I don't know if it's a bit of a myth, Beaver. I assume you're going to tip it.
No, I'm not.
Okay, what are you doing?
I'm going to go for Damien.
Okay.
I really liked its resumption. That was a nice win at Newcastle to win its maiden. Beat him fairly convincingly there, and then went straight to open class at Hawkesbury, and just didn't seem to handle the heavy going there, and had plenty of excuses behind a decent horse. And then went to Doomben, and I thought was pretty impressive last start. I think this horse is on an upwards trend. I like the way it's going, and Lees is pretty good at winning races like this with these types of horses. So I think Damien can run well, and I think the $6 is a nice little price.
Nice. Yeah, I'm against the favourite as well. Apart from a run against Rivellino, I couldn't find a great deal to get me too excited. I ended up putting Isti Star on top. Beat Tycoon Star last time out, and beat it fair and square. I know I was on the other horse, but when you actually watch the replay, it powered through the line. Thought it was a nice win. And around $8 or $9. I'm going to put it on top. You mentioned Damien. I won't recap that. And Fabulantes, the roughie, had to chase Beedman last time out and did all the chasing itself. So at a big price, might be one to consider for exotics. The fifth is a 1,200 metre listed race here. And I started out on this race. I got to need some luck, and I decided it's a complete moral. If it jumps on par, it'll smash these. Its last few runs have been good. The only concern I do have is it did miss the start, and it slightly missed the start in the trial as well since. But if all goes to plan, I think it'll just win. It's on top. I'm not going to bore the listeners anymore, really. But what are you doing here?
Yeah, same. I think the same as you. I think it's just a get-on bet. I think the 6-4 is okay, and I think all things relatively even. I think it takes care of this field. It's better than these.
Beauty. The first of the Group 1s comes up in the 6th, which is the 2-year-olds in the JJ Atkins, which was run by Broadsiding last year. The Autumn Suns won this race, and Rothfire. So it's a fair honour roll as we go back through. Who's going to win this one, though?
Yeah, look, lots of horses here with different form lines, and some of these races are always hard to get a line on because some of these horses are stepping up over to the 1,600 for the first time. But I find it hard to go past Cool Archie, to be honest. This horse it's flying at the moment, and last start was just outstanding. I know it was a heavy track and might not be that heavy here, but it's shown already that it can handle, hopefully it's not just a heavy track, but it's still going to be a bit of sting out of the ground here. But the last 3 wins have all been full of merit. And the way it went away from him last start, got back in the field and won by 3 lengths over the 1,400, it suggests to me that the mile's perfect. And I just, every time I went to look for something else, I really came back to it. Main danger's probably got to be the improving Waller horse in Hidden Achievement. But, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not knocking this favourite at all. It's been very, very good on wet tracks. So if you like it, stick with Beaver. I am going to go to the Sydney form, though. I'm going to go to Hidden Achievement on top. And I'll probably back the couple of horses around it at the big prices as well as Utanium and Zebra Finch. I like the way it hit the line. It gets James McDonald, who just gets the job done in these Group 1s. All Group 1s, really. So I'm going to stick with Hidden Achievement and cover off those other 2 that were in the finish with it at Rose Hill in the lead-up. The 7th is the Dane Ripper Stakes over 1,300 metres. Also a Group 2 level. Unfortunately, I had to watch Karen not lift Tashi over the line last week for me. But we move on, and I think there's a great bet here. I'm really keen on Alentia first up. It's the fresh only. You want to take it first up in its preps. It's trialled as well as it normally does. And its first up run last time, it was behind Magic Time, Jolly Star, and Owner Merc, none of which are here, and all of which would win this race. So it's on top at $7.50, and I'm fairly keen. The 2 other Waller runners are the main chances, obviously Firestorm and Konasana. What are you doing?
Yeah, look, I'm sticking with Firestorm. I think, you go back through some of its form, it just, it reeks of class. Hasn't been pushed out in the trials, but last start was in the Doncaster, I think, back in April, beaten by Steffi Magnetica. There was plenty of excuses there. That wasn't a bad run. And then prior to that, had some outstanding form again in Group 2 company. Gets JMac on board here. Waller will have this right to go, and this is not, I don't think, a genuine sort of Group 1, Group 2 race. Some of the likes of these are almost midweekers. So I think it's the class runner. If it's anywhere near peak fitness, it'll be winning this. And the main danger, I think, is Floozy, because it's going the best of anything that's been up and going. So, but no, pretty keen. Firestorm, if anywhere near right, will take care of these, and $4 to $5 to find out. It's pretty good.
Beautiful. We've got the feature, which is the Stradbroke Handicap over 1,400 metres. A very good race as always. Do you want to do the honours and talk about your little mate here?
Yeah, look, definitely on the War Machine here. I've pretty much tipped it all 3 starts this time in. Well, not pretty much, I have. And it hasn't let me down. Should have won first up. Was pretty good second up, and outstanding third up there. The stable just has a huge wrap on this horse. And again, this is not the hardest Group 1 field here. There's some horses here that haven't shown their best form for a while. Some that are going okay, that are a chance sort of down around the odds. Warney was pretty good last start. Thought that was a nice little run. Transatlantic can run well with drawn off the track. Private Eye might be one of the ones that can jump out the ground, given we know it's this quality, Group 1 quality horse. But I think War Machine is the new horse in town for a race like this, and flying at the moment. And I'm pretty keen to win.
Yeah, I'm with you. I made a believer out of me last start. Just need something to drag it across, which front page it should do on the map. There's a bit of pace out wide, which will get it into this right spot. And it's on top. I won't rehash all of that. I think the danger might be the stablemate Rise at Dawn. I thought it chugged around last week really nicely behind Jolie Star and co, and come straight back to the races a week later. Can run well. Private Eye will go in the quaddie. And I'll mention Rothfire, who was absolutely phenomenal 4 wide last time out and gets JMac, so it'll go in the quaddie when we get there. The last is the worst $1.2 million race I've ever seen, and to be honest, I spat the dummy when I got to this race and just said this can get fucked. So you can tell me who's going to win. I'll back Aaron Bay in this race, honestly. But anyway.
Sorry, Aaron Bay.
That's not it, but if it was, Jimmy the Bear and Aaron Bay will run top 3.
That's me confusing. I'm like, I might miss something here. What's going on?
What is this race? Anyway, for the record, Militarized is on top.
What is this race? I agree. I just went, the obvious is it's a bit skinny, but Faulkner Park is the obvious. It has got some quality about it. It has been racing against Antino. Its last 2 starts.
Is Antino injured? Why isn't it here?
Maybe I think it's got bigger fish to fry, mate.
Fair only only a $1.2 million race.
Yeah, good point. But maybe they just don't want to. I mean, it could run backwards and win this.
Exactly.
You make a fair point. I just thought the obvious is backing that form line, right? The Antino form line. And they were 2 fairly solid runs by Faulkner Park. So it was pretty much the obvious here. And if I was looking for a danger, I thought Kovalika can always bob up. But Faulkner Park looks to be the obvious choice in my book.
The quaddie on Stradbroke Day. Let's go with first leg 1 Cool Archie, 2 Grafter Burners, 8 Hidden Achievement, 9 Zebra Finch, 11 Zutanium. Tempted to throw Farnacle in on a dry track, and I may as well. 2 Konasana in the next leg, 3 Alentia and 4 Firestorm. Next leg, 1 Private Eye, 2 Rothfire, 7 War Machine, and 13 Rise at Dawn. And come home with 1 Faulkner Park, 3 Militarized, and 4 Kovalika. My best on Stradbroke Day, race 5, number 7, Need Some Luck. My value, race 7, number 3, Alentia. What have you done here?
Yeah, my best bet is race 8, number 7, War Machine. And my value bet is race 4, number 4, Damien.
Very good. For chelseatips.net, we'll head to Sandown Hillside, where we'll be on a soft track, but a drying soft track. in the cold conditions there. Rail goes out to the 8 metre position off the top of my head, and 6 metres in fact, and we're going to kick off. It's Hillside. We know we get there. Hopefully every horse gets close to its best chance. We kick off with the 2-year-olds over 1,000 metres in a race which I honestly spent too much time on to not come up with a real answer. This is more a watch and learn here, and for the sake of it, I'll put Ocean Sprint on top. But what are you doing as I deal with some dogs?
Yeah, look, I'm sticking with the favourite here in YOLO. That was a good resumption there from the Mars stable. It was pretty good at Pakenham. One sort of jumped on the pace, went away from him, won comfortably by a couple of lengths. Prior to that, it had some good form in listed race behind Rivellino at Randwick, and then wasn't too bad in another race at Canterbury. Put out for a spell for 3 months, comes back, has a nice win. Ma knows how to get these up and running, and I suspect it can go on from that. I think it's the on topper and hardest to beat. Not a lot of confidence, but should run well.
The second is a benchmark 70 over 1,300 metres, and as always in these sort of races, I went looking for the lightly raced ones, so fairly straightforward from me. I've gone Terra Lee. Should it be here because no riders engaged at the moment. I think did a pretty good job last time out, just missed. Comes back again, gate 7 should be fine. Marble Point over the odds. Had a big job to do last time out off a nice win. They're the two key hopes for me. What are you doing?
Yeah, I've gone the same way. I think Tiroli's the horse to beat here. It was pretty good resuming behind a horse that will probably tip in the next in that was a decent form race. So I think it can run well. And as you say, if it starts here, if it doesn't, I think a horse like but Witchery can run well. It's going okay at the moment. Thereabouts, double-figure odds.
We've got the 1,400 metre handicap up next. Do you want to talk about this one?
Yeah, I'm going to go a scratch last week after I tipped it, so I'm going to stick with it here. There's only 2 chances in this, it and Watley. Watley's going good, comes into a little bit better grade here, but gets a 2-kilo claim and looks to have a bit of ability. It won its maiden, went straight to Class 1 and beat them comfortably there over the 1,400 metres. I think it can run well.
Yeah, nothing more to add. When they run through the line and win like a hard did, you just stick with them the next start. So we'll move on to the 4th, the benchmark 74 again over 1,400 metres, and I've put Stylish on top. I talked about it last week. It was saved for this. Never got a crack second up. Very good win first up. Gets a great run from gate 3. It'll be in the finish, and it's $8. Obviously, Dirty Grin was very good last time out. Has been very good all prep, actually, and he's lightly raced. Rightful favourite. Serious suspect next best. What are you doing?
Now, Dirty Grin, pretty keen again. It gets a 3-kilo claim here. It's been very good this time in. Hasn't run a bad race yet, and probably unlucky not to win last start. I think he'll be too good for these. Clear on top for me. $3 is a good price.
The 5th is a benchmark 74. This time out to the mile. What are you doing in this one?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Extreme Virtue. Just got pipped last start. Looked all at home and only got beaten on the line. I think there'll be a bit of improvement from that. Here, now it's 3rd up, gets the 3-kilo claim, so a bit of weight relief there at 58. Gate 12 means it's probably it will push forward, so it'll come across there and lead. It's the one they have to catch, and at $5.50, I think that's a good price to find out.
It is. I'm going with the lead up. It and Trial by Press. Both have gates, the wide gates to deal with, but shouldn't be an issue there. The other horse I will mention, now it's drawn inside, never fired a shot in that race, was sounded out, now 3rd up, and I think being a Waller horse now drawing inside, it'll go further forward and is double figures. So they're the 3 ones I would be considering here. The mile benchmark 78 comes up next. My best of the days in this race, Roadcone, I think is absolutely flying. I think he can take up a spot, and I think it'll probably piss in again. No reason to jump off. A couple of very good horses here that I've got an eye on. Aztec State, we've both been fans of over the years. Nice trial nice horse. Just I think will have a job to go back and reel in this leader. Or the horses coming in front of it, that's all. But it has 4 trials to be ready for this one. High and Proud going back onto the dry is also the other horse of note. What are you doing?
Same as you. I think Roadcone is going great at the moment. It's killing it. And I think it jumps on the pace. And as you said, pisses in here. Another one that gets the 3 kilo claim with Cartwright aboard. He's going pretty good at the moment. So I'm up a little bit in weight. Because it's 56, so it's up about 4 or 5 kilos on its last start. But I still think it's going good enough, and I think it's got a few lengths on these.
Beautiful. We've got race 7, which is the 1,800 metre handicap now. What are we doing here?
Well, I went sort of looking deep here to see if there was anything that I liked, but I just kept coming back to Savant. Quite surprised at the price, to be honest. Again, another Cartwright horse here that's getting the claim. So could ride 3 of the 4 winners here. Might be a jockey challenge bet there. But this horse has got, I really like the way it savaged the line last start. That was they put a bit of money on it. Sat back midfield, ran down Sadati. But I thought it always had it under control and was always going to go past it. Sort of looks to set up fairly similar here. Probably gets in the running line here, pulls out, and some of these are, haven't won for a while or don't look like winning for a while. Windstorm, Forgot You, they're sort of 3rd and 4th in the market. Dublin Journal's okay last start, and the rest are the rest. So I thought 420 on the horse that looks to be have some natural progression is a pretty good bet.
They have gone with the same. It gave them a start and beat them. What more can I add? It's on top, and I wanted to make a case for Got You now 3rd up, long recovery prep, gassed out its first couple. Will take up a spot, but end of the day, like this horse won, so it's on top. The 8th is 1,000 metre benchmark 84, which you've been a fan of Manalo Bling, and that's why I'm going. I think it's a rightful favourite. Trial was good. 1,000 metre horse should get the job done. From Cadigo, who goes back to the 1,000 where it's unbeaten and should improve massively off that last one. Anything more to add? Interested in Cats, who first up for the Hayes Yard at a bit of a price, but not necessarily from a betting point of view. What are you doing?
Yeah, look, Manolo Bling is definitely the horse to beat here, but I just went looking for a bit of value here. I thought this was one of them, potentially a bit of a trap race. And I was a little bit worried, but so I've gone for Along the River at over double-figure odds here. I like the first up win at Crampton. Sort of just sat off the pace there and went past them quite well. Carried a big weight there, 62 kilos. Gets in here at 53.5, so it's nearly down 10 kilos on that. Hasn't got the greatest draw in 17, so that might pose a bit of a problem. But it just felt like a race to me that something at a price is going to win. So that's the way I'm going, but not a lot of confidence in the race at all.
And we're going to finish off with a 1,400 metre race at a handicap, in fact. What are we doing in the last?
Yeah, look, I think Hughes is going to be hard to beat again here. It's flying at the moment. I backed it last start. I was pretty pleased with that run. I think O2 Good might have been in that. Matt Brandon last start. But this was, it was a great win. It just sat sort of in that one out, one back, trailed him in and then just pulled to the middle of the track and went past him. I think it gets a similar setup here from gate 7. As Bates aboard, so it gets the 3 kilo claim, gets in here at 51 kilos. So it's got nothing on its back. And I think the race sets up nicely. Clear on top for me, and I think it can run very well.
Yeah, I've got Hughes on top, smashed him last time out. I sifted through these roughies and couldn't come with a lot. I thought Cafe Millennium was great. First up, snagged back, and is it here still? It's been scratched. No, still here. It's the main danger. And the problem is you don't want to take much more shorter of a price because it's always going to go back and have to charge home. And in this case, have to catch a pretty good horse. You to give us your quaddie.
Yeah, I'd love to give you my quaddie. So starting off in the first leg, I'm going to just go one out here. I'm going to go Roadcone, one out to win and give us some better percentage and some more to play with in later legs. In the second leg, I'm going number 3, Tempesti, number 8, Saban, number 9, Dublin Journal, and number 10, Sadati. In the third leg, I'm going to go in no particular order. Number 5, Talbragar. Number 12, Chinqui. Number 13, Manolo Bling. Number 11, Along the River. Number 17, Spear. And to finish in the last race, I'm going to go number 12, Hughes. Number 10, Cafe Millennium. Number 17, Step Aside, and number 2, Detonator Jack.
Lovely. Your best in value at Sandown?
My best is race 6, number 5, Roadcone, and my value bet is race 8, number 11, Along the River.
Fantastic. My best, race 6, number 5, Roadcone. My value, race 4, N16 Stylish. Anything else from the rest of Australia?
I did have a look at Rosehill. There's a few that I liked at Rosehill. I like one in the first, number 2, Crocodile. It's good last start, and I think $4 plus is quite a nice price. So I think it can run really well. And then when we get to later in the day, I thought race 8, number 5, Bear on the Loose. Thought it was nearing a win, could run well. And I thought in the last race, number 11, Sacred Rocks, I think it's going to be hard to beat.
Beautiful. What did I have? Not much else. Race 8, number 10 at Murray Bridge, Synchro. But Murray Bridge is a bit of a dump, to be honest, so I don't think I'll be betting too much there. Anything else, Beaver, or we should wrap this up?
Let's wrap it up, mates. Nothing else from me.
Sounds good. Thank you, punters. Check out showstips.net if you want to get the written copy of all of this, and we'll do it again next week. Take care, guys, and we'll talk soon.